id means my mind and intellect is is understanding clearly. So deeper the understanding, the application comes naturally. How come? How come? Well, I just started, the session. I don't want to waste even a minute. Why it happens? Our unconscious in the subconscious mind, if we have a particular habit, for example, of coffee, so the mind keeps on repeating, I want coffee, I want coffee. And then ultimately you move to the kitchen, get the coffee, and take it. So when you are practicing every day, you read it consciously, you understand it. Your one day your mind will strike. Oh, this is it. What is it? Oh, anxiety is a delusion. For example, here in our case. So when you anxiety is a delusion. And then what happens? You move into the similar situation where you had the anxiety before, and now your mind says, no, 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 anxiety is a delusion. It is gone. I'm just comparing to help you understand. So, in the last week, I told you this is Fireflies. It
Yeah.
records my audio and also it transcribes what I speak. And it helps me to check, oh, I should have added this or I should not have added this. I go through it in every session. It helps me to improve the coaching. So last week we understood happiness hunt. Happiness hunt. We were hunting happiness, and that happiness, we are seeking happiness not only in the morning, afternoon, evening, night, with mom, with dad, with everyone, in the school, at the job. I want happiness all the time. So that was our happiness hunt. We understood and we named it short term happiness as pleasure. So instead of our mind forgets it's a short term pleasure, then what happens? My mind goes back again and again to the social media for pleasure, again takes one thing, eats one thing, the same thing again and again, because it has forgotten that there is no permanent happiness. It is a short term happiness, which we say here is a pleasure. So, what happens, as if our mind instinctively added hashtag happiness coffee, happiness addiction, happiness more sleep, happiness long list. Did you get it? I'm just trying to give you the modern way. Now you see that that is what happens with the dopamine and addiction, the fleeting pleasures of external validation. So Eastern wisdom adds one more thing: external pleasure seeking is short term. One defect. Second defect, our mind has projected happiness in those things, whether it is a social media or any form of addiction or food or a specific food item. Mind, pasta, pasta. Oh, love the pasta. Mom, you are very good. How come the mom is good? If she cooked the pasta, she also cooks other stuff? Mind. We have to be very careful about this crazy Mom, you are so good. Why you are so good? Because you cook the pasta. Why I like oh, because I like the pasta. Your friend keeps on appreciating you, so you get the pleasure. And one day he doesn't appreciate dopamine. But when you practice meditation, we don't rely on anything outside. We are discovering that happiness inside. We are discovering that happiness inside. So I'm seeking pleasure. Now I'm qualifying happiness. Short term happiness is a seeking pleasure in the number of followers, seeking a perfect food, or the food that we like, or the latest phone that we want to have it. So Eastern wisdom gives another term. You are in a delusion. What is delusion? Like a mirage water. There is no water in the mirage. So there is no pleasure in these stuff. How to understand this? By contemplation and reflection. By listening, learning, repeat contemplation. That is why I have requested you to just update. Update means that every time you have a different understanding, a higher understanding, and that will help you to move to the higher levels so that we can start the Tattva Bodha in a systematic manner. Now comes the question that if it is the mind that creates pleasure seeking thought, pleasure seeking feeling, then what is this mind after all? How the mind behaves, you know? I'm not the mind, that is very clear. But how this mind behaves? Why? One, why the mind behaves and creates an imaginary pleasure in the objects outside? Then I think we have to start with understanding what is this crazy mind after all? What is its particular attribute that causes the pleasure seeking mind leads to addiction, habit, arrogance, anger, hesitation. They all are experiences of the mind. How many times you were upset last week?
Not that many. It was good,
Not
actually.
many, only two or three times.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure. With your near and dear ones or with the strangers?
Strangers at work.
Strangers. Yes, because I have a strong disliking for a particular behavior, and then I projected that sense of disapproval that resulted into. But question is, anxiety, the cause of anxiety is not those people, but the mind says no, they are. That is also a delusion. Modern Eastern wisdom goes very deep. So why this happens? This happens because of animal nature of the mind. We are evolved from the animals, so we carried forward essential activities of the animal mind. But because we have a thinking ability from the intellect, so that intellect and the animal mind messed up together. Intellect always reasons, it wants to find out the cause and effect relationship. Whereas water, is there water there? No. So when I approach closely where I see the water, I find effect of mirage water is due to the sunlight and the sand. There is no water. So the cause of the water is absent. That is why it is a delusion. Take your example. The cause of anxiety is this guy at my work. If I prove that it is not the cause, so the effect, which is anxiety, is no more. Are you understanding? So the moment you understand and you live into that state, you have a glimpse of that spirituality. Anything and everything is explained by the Eastern wisdom, I told you. Eastern wisdom. So let us go through it beyond the animal instinct. I named this today's lesson Beyond the Animal Instincts, Human Potential, or you can say evolving beyond the human instinct. Evolving beyond the animal instinct, this is so that we can enter into the human superpower, and that is what is the spirituality. We have to understand. So I have taken reference from two more texts to explain this principle. First thing, as a human being, we have three rare grace. We are born with the three grace if my intellect is active. Not many younger generations understand this and they do not want to understand. They are obsessed with the pleasure outside. First is the human birth. Second is the desire for finding who am I. That is what the spirituality. And the third, you have the human birth, you have a desire for awakening, and you have a right teacher, the guidance from the right teacher. The teacher does not say, I will show you the red color and yellow color in meditation. Really? So when you have both, you feel that I'm a human being. These animal instincts must be controlled, and then you have a desire for freedom. If you have these two qualities, and the teacher say, I will show you the yellow and the blue color, you are a seeker now. And the seeker asks, what the heck you are talking about? Why should I see the yellow color with eyes closed when I can see with my naked eyes? It has nothing to do with the spirituality.
Mhm.
You have to understand. You can interrupt me by asking a question if you have any doubt. I see there are a lot of sensations. So I'll give you some injections so you'll have very good sensation. Sensation related to the spirituality.
Yeah.
We have to be very clear as a seeker. So when you are a real seeker means you question, you reason. That is why the master says the grace is the human birth. Why the human birth? I can question. I want to know the cause and effect relationship. I can bet you. I was looking at the Discovery Channel, I know the bisons in Montana, and when the season of mating season comes, the two well-built males start fighting, and at last one is killed, and other wins, and then they start mating all the females. Now, for 1 minute, you give intellect to both the males. They sit down and then they decide. what to do and what not to do. Cause and effect. They are controlled by the nature. Animal mind is controlled by the nature. So they have to follow the same routine. They have been following the same routine for thousands of years. All animals. But we are not animals. So I have to go beyond the animal instinct. So it is a grace that we are born as a human being. So born as a human being, it is not two-legged animal. I must use the intellect in every activity, in my personal life, professional life, social life, in sleep, in food that we eat. So when you use the intellect, you understand the cause and effect relationship. You are slowly evolving your mind. You are taking over the mind. The mind is not taking over the intellect. In Eastern wisdom, they say it is the one of the most important thing to be understood, applied in everyday life. So that is why it is a growth. Human birth is a grace. I'm not going deeper. I'll go deeper later. That what exactly it means by the human birth. Had I been born as a mosquito baby, couple of days and hours of life, I don't know what happened. Where is the birth and where is the life and where is the death? I don't know. I was given an instinct of the fear if I'm a deer and the deer approaches, see the lion, runs away. That much I know. I don't know what is fear. I simply follow the program. It is, the programmed. So now once we have that ability, then the same mind starts seeking that what is the ultimate? What is this real self? Can I awaken to the real self? So that intellect starts searching the teacher who can help us to find. So the three graces there: the human birth, desire for freedom. Intellect has created the atom bomb. Millions of people died in Hiroshima. That is also the use of the intellect. So Eastern wisdom says the finest use of the intellect is to know who am I. And then who am I? I don't know. In science, there is no answer to the question who am I? Or if there are answers, all the answers are false. You have behavior model, you have hundreds of models of the human being that doesn't answer. So understanding this, once we understand this clear, so with that intellect, clarity of the intellect, now there is another verse again from another text. That is how we have a cross references. There are more than 3,000 texts in Eastern wisdom, and every text talks about the same principles. But which text helps me to understand and start the journey? Because I have undergone that training with my master, so I know which one to pick up. So, what now? Let us see the attributes of the animal mind, which we also have. That is what we all know: Ahar, Nidra, Mathun, Bhay. Eating, sleeping, fear, and mating. These are the four animal works of the mind. Every animal does only this. That is why they don't progress. They are controlled by the nature. Then what is difference in human beings? We also have the eating, sleeping, fear, safety, and the mating. What else is different? So the Eastern wisdom says by one word. It has 10 different meaning. I will pick up only the two meaning. It says the human have the dharma. dharma. What is dharma? Don't go for wrong, false meaning. Dharma literally is translated as religion. No, it has nothing to do with religion. So here the meaning of the dharma is right thought, right speech, right action. I have an ability as a human being to understand every event, every relationship, anything in the world, every food, anything, any state. I feel sleepy and lazy. No, I have to understand why it happens. What is the right thought? What is the right speech? What is the right action? That consists. So that dharma is not available to the animal mind. It is available, so it means animal mind plus dharma sets the stage for evolution. Science also does this. Animal mind plus the intellect is applied to understand the phenomena of the external world. So we have technological progress. Animal mind plus the human intellect used to go for this self discovery. We are going for the self knowledge and self. Never ever think the intellect has not to be used. We have to use. And I gave you a finest example, blueness of the sky. Let the intellect understand. So, what is the effect? Effect, the blueness. Is there any substantial, definitive cause for the blueness in the sky? No. That is why it is a delusion. Is there a definitive cause of happiness in the pasta or in any food? Answer is no. That is why I project the happiness in the pasta. So I take pasta, I project the happiness in any drug, so I enjoy the pleasure. I have to, my intellect has to repeat this, contemplate and reflect. When you repeat it, contemplate and reflect, your intellect puts the knowledge into the mind, it drops the imaginary pleasure, you are free from addiction. It takes time. Just giving one example. So it means that dharma protects me from the wrongdoing. Dharma protects me from anxiety. Dharma protects me from the stress and suffering. Oh, so I can get rid of the stress and suffering and anxiety even by understanding and applying clearly. Yes. But then what I need? Oh, I have yet to continue the journey of a self-discovery. So that prepares the mind. That prepares the mind for the journey. At that stage, I become a seeker, then I'm ready to follow the teachings of the Tattva Bodha. So we are going step by step. So now mind is ready. Now I'm very clear. Dharma is my inherent nature. Another thing to understand. Second definition of the Dharma. Dharma is our inherent nature. How to give you an example? What is the inherent nature of sugar? Sweetness. Put the sugar into the water, water becomes sweet. Put the into a lemon water, again it is sweet. Put into the candy. The inherent nature of the sugar in the candy makes the candy sweet. and it does not become sweet without sugar. My essential, your essential nature is happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. I don't understand. I don't realize that is what we are going to do. So, the meaning, one meaning of the dharma is to find my inherent nature. How can you say my inherent nature? I always live in anxiety and stress, and I keep on. No, people are continue to fight. After fighting, what they do? They fall into their inherent nature. They become calm. Have you seen anyone who starts fighting and continues fighting without sleep?
Yeah.
Inherent nature. They fall into sleep and they're like, "I don't know, I'm sorry, I fought with you for wrong reasons, so I'm sorry." Inherent nature, your inherent nature is peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. Like the sweetness of a sugar. We don't recognize, we don't realize it. And that is what the Eastern wisdom helps us to recognize and realize that, that. So that dharma is universal. Inherent nature, inherent nature of the lion, inherent nature of the deer, inherent, and my inherent nature. So one dharma is universal, and the other dharma is personal. The personal dharma of the lion is to pray and eat. So the personal dharma of the lion to catch a prey, eat the flesh, not after cooking. Is the same dharma, personal dharma I have? No. Personal dharma asked me to ask a question: can I kill this being and eat? Lion doesn't think, I can think. So one is the universal, like gravitational force is universal. So you think because you are slim or you are obese, so that's why slim can run fast and obese can run slow. That is true as far as the science is concerned, but there is one more dharma that is working. My weight depends on the gravitational pull of the total. That is the dharma. The inherent nature is always there. Well, I just am giving you. So same thing, we have universal dharma of the human non-violence, truthfulness, non-stealing. Like this, we have lot of dharma that we will be talking about. Now, the last point to understand today: without dharma, I told you, I gave you a mathematical equation. Animal mind, no dharma. So they remain as it is. The lion remain lion throughout their life, a deer remains throughout their life. You cannot convert the deer into a lion. Whereas a human being, animal mind plus dharma is equal to a human being. So animal mind, I apply the dharma, I move from the fear to fearlessness. Internal transformation. I move from the violence to kindness. I move from anxiety to peace because of that dharma. And if there is no dharma in our life, we just think, speak, and act like animals. I don't want to, yes, brand him, so I'm not telling you the name. One is my client who is a millionaires. Millionaires? Yes, millionaires. So his mind is always attracted to the girls. He went to a restaurant, he sat on a restaurant. On the next table, there were three beautiful girls. He was eating the food, but his mind was totally obsessed with those girls. Imaginary pleasure projected. 1 hour he sat. He finished his lunch, he paid it, he came outside, and then he became conscious. He called me from the same place. He said, I did the craziest thing in my life. What you did? So he narrated the story. This thing happened. I was totally obsessed with those three girls. And this is craziness. I said, thank you, because you remembered animal mind plus dharma. You remembered once you came out of the restaurant. Inside the restaurant, there was only an animal mind. But you are a seeker, you recognized it. He started abusing himself. He said, continue abusing until you reach your home. At least your mind will have a good lesson to learn. So sometimes we learn like this. It is purely an intellectual, emotional exercise followed by the practice. Not many people understands this clearly, and these real life examples helps us. Normally science answers, we have our own biological makeup like this. That is okay. We accept all the explanations coming from the science, but we go a step further. We want to use the same intellect to find real self. Dopamine effect, yes, there is an effect. Addiction effect, there is an effect. But how it affects, as long as the mind is controlled by the external objects and the things. Eastern wisdom says you transcend the mind. Then what happens? You have to check it. We will tell you how to transcend the mind. So we take a couple of steps further beyond the reach of the science. That we will also understand in a deeper way. That is all ahar, nidra, maithun, bhai, the four instincts plus the wisdom. You can say four instincts plus the wisdom is equal to the human being. Then only we are a human being if we apply the wisdom. If we apply the wisdom. Otherwise, even with those dresses, many human beings walks naked like animals. Have you seen many people start staring at the opposite sex? They are naked. They don't want to understand. Then what? No. Then what? Then what doesn't work here? Very good. So let us start our practice today. Practice second, and modification is the second. Eyes are closed, and place, position, and posture. Find out, are you comfortable? Are you have a right place, you have a right place, position, posture. And if it is right place, position, and posture, you find yourself at ease. No animals I have seen, they appear falsely that they are at ease. Lion is sleeping in the dark in the forest. A slight noise disturbs their sleep. So you find yourself at ease. At ease is experienced by the mind. Here it is awareness of place, position, and posture do not create or produce any unease. We use the intellect. You see that we use the intellect and ask the mind to follow. Oh, every time, yes. Being comfortable. Now, the next step, we are using the intellect. Even when I'm giving the instruction, you are listening. All is all about intellect. But we will also understand we don't overuse it. But anyhow, at this moment, it is being comfortable. So I say being comfort. I said before also the comfort is a state, dharma, not a dynamic condition. What is dynamic condition? Dynamic condition means it is today there is a comfort and tomorrow there is no comfort. That is what I feel. That is what I feel. Dynamic means today I am having comfort. Yesterday I did not have it. Why it is there? Why? Because I want to find comfort in the body, mind, emotions. But the comfort is independent, and that is how you will experience if you continue the practice. What practice? You look at the entire body from the top of the head to the toes as if mind mind is touching the skin of your body from top to the toes. You feel, you know, you experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Sensation, comfort, and steadiness. So, in that comfort, do you see mind has changed the direction from the world outside to inside? When you move inside the home, it doesn't mean that you forgot the neighbors, but you have changed the direction. So, in that state of comfort, in that state of comfort, continue to move within or continue to move up in the sky or continue to dive deep into the darkness. So when you move, you are leaving behind all thoughts and feelings. And there comes a moment when you realize and recognize you are separate from the thoughts and the feelings. What is this? This is being carefree. Our mind, due to its craziness, not applying intellect, the thoughts are mixed up with I-ness. How? I have stress means the stress belongs to me. Carefree means you experience the separation. And now we will move to the next step. This is the second practice and the second modification. First practice, you continue doing it, and if you have time, I will urge you do the first practice and the second and find the common points, and at last you will see, oh, it is easy to combine both. So we move to the next step. What? The long and hissing breathing into the rib cage. First your mind looks inside into the space and start breathing long, deep, and the hissing breath into the rib cage. Every time you inhale, there is a little bit hissing sound, but you check there is an expansion of the ribs and contraction with every inhalation and exhalation. Continue. We want to see the level of endurance today. We are doing for 3 minutes. Anytime mind says, I can't do, use intellect and say to the mind, I can do it. Let me have an endurance. So let me have an endurance and
Spam
I
risk.
will do it. Continue long, deep in the hissing breath. Here, continuing with the deep, long, and the hissing breath. So normally in tantra we have to do it for 9 minutes. So slowly we will reach there. So today we are doing it for 3 minutes. Continue deep, long in the hissing breath. The moment the mind objects to it, let your intellect bring the thought, oh, let me do it with an endurance. So when you do it with endurance, the mind changes and we can do it for continue, continue. And now stop this, do nothing. Allow the mind to return to its normal breathing pattern and watch. So it means there is some force, the mind returns to its normal breathing pattern. Continue to be aware of the breath and experience the feeling has changed. A sense of calmness is there, freshness may be there. You are just doing nothing at this moment. Check the state of sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Check sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Check the deeper state of calmness. We want to make our mind little deeper further. And we will use another practice of the tantra also to check your breath. Check your breath and make your breath deep, silent, and slow. Remember, it is deep, it is slow, it is silent. Breathe. Lips remain closed. Do not open your lips. And in that state, check every time the breath is going in, you are inhaling. And while exhaling, you make the humming sound, breath is coming through the nose.
Mm.
We are not in a hurry. Again, you inhale deep, silent, and slow through the nose into the belly and the chest, and while breathing out. Mm. 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 Mm.
Mm,
Long, deep, and as
mm,
long as you can do it.
mm, mm, mm,
No worries, your body is moving the mind. Find some
mm, mm,
unease. It is because of the animal mind. So we want to win over. Continue. Continue.
mm, mm,
Yes, the body sometimes twitches. It is all because of the past impressions. Wants
mm,
to release, but it
mm,
finds a
mm,
challenge.
mm, mm,
Now stop this. Look, keep looking inside the heart in the space. Keep looking into the heart in the space and say mentally, may there be, and may everyone be happy. And then move the mind deep inside to find that happiness. Look, keep looking inside and continue to move the mind inside. This is a learning phase. Saying, may everyone be healthy, then move the mind deep inside the heart in space and be there. Check the mind is deep within. Then say mentally, may everyone be blessed and continue to move the mind deep within. Check the state of your mind. It is still deep within. Say mentally, May everyone be free from miseries and sufferings, and move the mind deeper within. Perceive or feel or experience. What do you experience? I am is independent. All experiences takes place in the mind. I am in the thought that is also separate. I am in the feeling. I am in the body. Something deep inside. Listen to it and check if the mind, listening to this chant, further absorbs itself. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside, know your experiences. How are you, sir?
Relaxed.